Uh-oh. All right. Let's see if I can get my camera right. Didn't expect the dog to trip over the camera. Okay, so continuing on from where we were last time. I don't remember where we were, but we'll find out. Let's see. I know we were... Let's go ahead and open up the game. Awesome. So we have our game up. Let's go ahead and start it. And let's go ahead and upload the code to Gemini, because this is what we're going to be playing with. I've been having a rough day with Gemini today. At work, I'm working. Okay, during my normal job, my day job, I'm working on a cube kind of roguelike game, and I'm having to refactor it and turn it from 3 files into like 5 because of some future stuff that I'm going to add to it. And trying to get it to refactor without screwing it up has been a real pain in the butt. It has to do with ambiguity. Like when you're asking AI to make an action plan for a coder, and let's say you're going from an original file and you're going to break it into different other files that are going to manage a specific parts of the game. When the action plan says do this, like add this feature, or remember not to forget this feature and put it over here, unless it tells you the exact, unless it in the action plan has the exact code and where it's going, the coder AI is going to insert thought. It's going to do compute. And when it computes, that's what you don't want. So it's going to do its best to interpret the instructions. And if that instruction says, add this feature to this one thing, it'll look at the whole thing and it'll clean it up for you too. But it doesn't have the scope of the game, so it doesn't know how to clean it up. Like, it doesn't know, it doesn't have instructions on what to take out when it's cleaning up. It just throws away stuff that normally wouldn't be there. And that's a big issue when you're designing games, especially if you're me, because I do some weird stuff sometimes, and it designs to the average. So if you have some weird thing, like let's say, like in this game where we have a section where we're doing all 3 of our actions, and then we go to the next phase, and then we do one action, then everybody does one action, and then everybody does a second action. But like after I do my action, it's the next person's turn. Well, because I did it differently in the first round, it's going to try and do the same thing in the second round. It's going to try to make them the same, because that's what the average person would probably do. That's not why we are designing, or that's not why I'm designing. I'm designing to make my own thing. So if I'm designing the average, that would be no problem, but I don't. I say I'm trying to do things differently, but it's not necessarily true. I do things differently. I don't go by, like, I'm trying to create something here. I'm not trying to shortcut any of the creation process. Well, I'm not trying to shortcut a lot of the creative process. I'm trying to take control of it as much as I can. But anyway, okay, so let's get some stuff going. We also need, I think they call it an IDE. Let me find out. I don't remember what it stands for. What does an IDE stand for? I know my brain's rotting away as I ask for um, all this information. But I have other parts of my brain that are actually growing. More gray matter.
IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. It is a single software application that provides all the tools a programmer needs to write, test, and debug software.
Would you call WordPad plus plus a IDE? Or what would you call it? Okay, so what we need is a source code editor. All right, so let's go ahead and get, I think it was this one. I need to get rid of the bad one. I can figure out which one that is. That's not the good one. I think it's this one. Yes, that's it. So this one is that. Let me go ahead and delete the other ones or just get rid of them altogether. Give me 1 second to do that. It's interesting. I was talking to a friend. Well, I'm always talking to a friend about AI, and they were asking me if I could build, this or that. And I'm like, well, for me, it's all a thing about steps between me and the end process. Like at some point, AI is going to be in the process, and I can create almost anything, and I'm going to use AI help, but AI may only be a tool that I use during my design or during what I'm building. So like it got me thinking about the way I use AI versus the way I've seen other people use AI. I've seen people who build games do like one shot and then that's their game, and they keep trying to make like a better prompt or whatever. And I don't see it that way. I see AI as a tool. It's a multi-tool. It's a chisel, it's a paintbrush, it's everything. It is a hammer, it's a nail, it's all the tools that you would need to build. It's like I was talking to a friend of mine, the same friend, and I basically said, look, like you could do a podcast that's all AI. And of course, it's like, well, that's already been done. And I go, no. Those are shitty podcasts that are done with AI. Those are podcasts that are people are lazy. Now, AI is great for lazy people, but for someone who's not lazy, AI is amazing. It's an amazing tool. Now, what I mean is the reason why those fake AI podcasts suck is because they didn't they what they did is they gave it like information like, okay, so the Civil War, let's say if they did a podcast about the Civil War, they would throw on the Civil War, they'd put it in Notebook LM, and then they would create a podcast. They might change a few of the things that they said, and then that's it. But that is so scratching the surface. Like just using Gemini, and let's say we could use Notebook LM. Let's say you come up with a subject. You can do the subject, right? Go and just have a conversation with AI and write out or have it bounce ideas and use it as red team in your discussion. Basically, fight with AI about about your theories and thoughts, and also have it agree with them, get it all together, break it down into a document that has everything laid out. So like first you're going to do free thought and then break all that down, and then have AI make a conversation. And maybe you'd want to make an adversarial conversation. So like you would tell AI, take on the persona of so and so, and here's their arguments, and take on another persona, take on these arguments, go ahead and have it talk to each other, and then go back and refine the dialogue where it sounds like people, and then think about the way people talk, Assign it, of course, voices or whatever, and don't use the standard voices everybody uses. Have it design it, and you'll need to have a some recording software for music, and then you record the output, and then with the output, what you do is you go ahead and layer it with coughing and room noise, and have one AI remember to make it argue. Remember, like, if one AI is telling the other AI um, something it doesn't like, in your you're creating this. You're basically creating a story using actors, and you're directing the podcast. Now you can go and make like a bunch of subtext in the podcast, and you could make one AI talk over the other AI. You can make the AI get mad, and of course, as their points are getting shot down, the AIs that has its points being shot down, like its opinions aren't being. It needs validation, so it starts raising its voice. So there's like a whole mountain of things you can do with it. Like, if you imagine yourself as the wizard in Wizard of Oz, like, you basically, like me, I'm monotone, and it's hard for me to express a whole lot of feeling without my facial expressions in a podcast. Like, I'm pretty dull sounding. So I would love it to have somebody else's voice speaking my opinion, and then whenever I fight with myself and think about the other side, or have the AI argue the other side, it would be great to have these two other voices that aren't my voices, and have them have an actual podcast that basically argues these 2 points. And what you're doing is you're setting up like you're like a movie or something, but it's audio, and you're the director, and you intentionally add the messiness of human dialogue, intentionally coughing, laughing, snide remarks, talking over each other. You make it sound as human as you possibly can, and you don't make it sound AI. Don't just feed it uh, data, have it talk to itself and say, well, that works. They're making good points. It sounds like a podcast. And then that's how AI slop is made. We're not here to make slop. I mean, some of us are, and just slop to make change, but you can use AI as a real tool to do really creative things. And I'm here to explore that. Anyway, okay, so let's see. What we want to do is make this thing better. I think I deleted all the old versions, so I don't have to deal with that. And what kind of software do they call it? They call it a source code editor. So let's go ahead and upload our source code editor. Let's open Canvas. Make sure it's on Pro. And then we're going to fix this so it'll make it easier for me to save and do all this game stuff. I built this web source code editor using Gemini 3.0. It doesn't have a lot of the key features that I would like. It doesn't have to be an amazing editor, but one of the things I would like it to do is handle files a little easier, such as the copy, the save as kind of stuff. It doesn't really work all that great. Let's examine this app that we made, and let's make it more user friendly. That's probably not exactly, it's too vague. By making it more user friendly, we want to add a lot of features that are just, what do you call it? Just, I forgot what they call it. Something of life. I forgot what they, basically just make it easier on me to work with files that I make in Gemini 3.0, and that way I can put it in there, put it in the app, and then save it a lot easier, and then open the files a lot easier, and then save newer versions a lot easier. Right now, I can't even save and title the HTML. So it would be great if we can look at this, we can brainstorm, bounce ideas. You can tell me what you would expect to find in it. Quality of life kind of stuff. That's the what I'm looking for. That's the phrase. Let's see if we can make this better. Do not get proactive. Do not start coding. Do not start making an action plan. We are just going to brainstorm. You're going to tell me the things that you think that I probably want, and we'll just go back and forth. When I say probably want, like standard stuff you would find in an app, especially a source code editor. Let's go here. That beginning of the prompt that we started and I erased it, I copied it and put it in the clipboard so that I can continue the conversation. I have a little Miu Mini Plus that I can play like Nintendo games and stuff. I'm going to start just playing with that as it codes and stuff at work. I have it's only like 3 or 4 minutes at a time that I have totally free. But I think that would be great mentally because sometimes I get so wound up about it screwing up my code.
This is a great starting point. You've got the bones of an editor, but you are absolutely right. It lacks that smooth, buttery feel of a real desktop application. The term you were looking for is quality of life, QoL, features. These are the little details that don't necessarily add new functionality. You can already type and save, but they make the experience much faster and less frustrating. Looking at your code, WebMo1, HTML, and your request, here is a brainstorm of features that would make handling files and living in this editor much nicer. 1. File handling and persistence, the big one. Right now, your app just downloads a new file every time you click Save, creating index 1, HTML, index 2, HTML, etc. That is annoying. Keyboard shortcuts, Ctrl+S, CMD+S. This is the #1 missing feature. If you hit Ctrl+S, it should trigger your save function immediately, preventing the browser from trying to save the whole web page. Drag and drop support. Instead of clicking Open and hunting through menus, you should be able to drag a HTML or link to .txt file from your desktop directly onto the black editor box to load it instantly. Dirty state indicator. When you type something new, the interface should tell you. Usually, this is an asterisk next to the file name, e.g., index, HTML, or the Save button changing color to warn you that you have unsaved work. True, file system, access, advanced QoL, current behavior. You click Save.
Okay, so please write me an action plan to add all these features. Please be as detailed as possible, including diffs of code that will be added and whatnot. Do that in the canvas area, please. I think we're just going to code it in place. Usually, if it's something really long, I'll go and open another tab and have it specifically code, and then we would verify it and do all that. But I'm fine. It's not a game. It doesn't have all these specific little nuances that I need to keep. I just need an app, and it can be average. So there it goes. While it's going, or it's already done. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything else while it's doing that. Okay, so here I'm going to export it to my documents in Google Documents. There it is. All right, so here we're going to go ahead and have it execute the plan. Please do the action plan. Go ahead and make our what was it called? Forgot what it was called. Source code editor. go ahead and implement the action plan to the WebPad++ that we have. We'll go ahead and do that. While it's doing that, we'll go over here and we'll talk about one of the things that I wanted to add. Oh, let me go ahead and open up the, what is it? The PDF, the rules. In the rules, during an action, I painstakingly copied and pasted this when I wrote the rules that says something like, if you can't do this, the player taking this action may decide not to select a tile or may not have a valid tile to select, effectively skipping this action. So each of the actions has what happens if you can't do it. The player taking this action can skip this action, but cannot choose to complete part or skip parts of the action. So in other words, they have to do the whole action or not do it at all. And we've got this. Let's go ahead and upload our PDF. Let's talk about the actions in this game. First, let's look at the rules and let's look at the actions. I believe that most of the actions say if you can't do part of the action. If you do part of the action, you have to do the whole action. Let's go through all 6 actions and see if that's true, or write me a document that has all 6 and what happens if you try to do partial actions on each one, because they're all different probably. Once we do that, we need to look at the game file and see how it handles the same issue. Okay, so we're doing that here. Here we've got something. Let's see, save as. File, oh, you put the file name here. Okay, file name, save as, new, cool, not too bad. So what we're going to do is get the code, copy it, put it in our old source editor, which is this one. Oh, it had the thing there too, so it was the same. Bam. All right, then we're going to call this webpad mo2.html. I think it's saved right. Then we're going to save this sucker. Let me go ahead and put it in the right place. We can close this one now. We'll open our new one. Awesome. Let's go back here. Hopefully it right. Oh, it's writing code. I didn't tell it specifically not to, so we're going to stop it. Do not write any code. We're simply discussing the issues. Write this document into the canvas area. Do not write any code at all. All right, so let's see if we can get it to do what we actually want. There's our game. This is the source code editor. Get rid of the source code editor generator. This is our action plan to make that. We don't need that right now. We've got our WebPad++ that we just made. Here we go. And let's hear what we have here.
Partial action rules analysis. This document analyzes the all or nothing rule specified in the conflict of plants rules 2.0.pdf and compares it against the current logic in mil4fix.html. The general rule. Page 10, player actions. The action must be completed in whole or skipped entirely. This rule is explicitly repeated for specific actions, seedling, water, weed, wind, to prevent players from taking the beneficial part of an action and skipping the cost or the part that benefits opponents. 1 foot action, expand. The rule, draw 1 tile, place it, gain points, place 1 cube. Code implementation. The code handles this atomically. When a ghost tile is clicked, the handle tile click function performs the placement, scoring, and cube addition all in a single state update. Status, compliant. There is no opportunity for the player to stop halfway. 2 grass action, combat. The rule, select a tile. Remove 1 opponent cube, then remove 1 from every player iteratively until only 1 player remains, or none. Code implementation.
What I would like you to do is write me an action plan to fix the actions that do not comply with the rules. Do not change anything else. Also, I would like tooltips on the actions. The tooltips might have to change based on, well, you know what? Let's not do that. We're going to start a new prompt. We're going to get rid of that because I don't want to get confused. Write me an action plan where we get my source code for the game. We go through the 6 actions and we make them all compliant to the rules, because the rules are the ones in the PDF are the rules that we're going to go by. Also, we need a tooltip which explains the action of each one of these symbols. We need them in the game so that when we mouse over any token, we can see what that action does. Also, maybe a better explanation of each phase when we're actually in the phase in the game. So write me an action plan that has that. Do not change anything else. Also, write me a verification action plans, because we're going to take this document, give it to a AI coder. They're going to make your changes, and then another AI is going to take the code, the original and the one that we're asking to get modified, and we're going to compare them. And if there's any changes outside the scope of the changes that are in this action plan, then we'll delete the file and start all over. Also, make sure there was something I wanted to make sure of, and I forgot what it was. Let's see. We're going to do that. Action plan. I think that's all we need. Let's go for it. Then we'll get a coder ready. We'll take conflict of plants, get it ready for the coder. Conflict of plants is this one, because we're on milestone 4, or we're on milestone 5, I believe. We still need to go back and find those so we can do the next milestone. We have that. Then we'll wait for the action plan. And then we also need a verifier. So the verifier is going to take this file, the original. Here's an original file. Don't do anything with it. Just acknowledge that you received the original file and that you can read it. That's going to be our verifier. If we don't have, here's the action plan for the coder. Upon reviewing your code, a little bit of it is ambiguous. If there's any code to write, please write the code in the action plan. We don't want the coder to have to think at all. We just want them to stitch the new information in there and remove any information you tell them to remove. The more ambiguity you have in your action plan, the more trouble you're going to get into. So we would like all the thinking to be done on this side, and not thinking and writing code at the same time, because you're just asking for trouble if you do that. just moving around windows and stuff. See there, he's writing the code that we've got the notation that he wants written. Awesome. You know, he got rid of there's the verification plan there, but he didn't write a new one. Well, that's fine. Just see if there's any at the end here. Nope. We'll copy the instructions. Make sure to open Canvas. Give the instruction to the coder. If you have it do it in one step, say, here's the changes I want made, make those changes. It'll go through the having to think about what it needs to do and make it at the same time. And that's a recipe for it will delete, it will hallucinate, it will remove, it'll do all these things at a higher percentage. Like you're already on the lookout for any kind of hallucination. You're already on the lookout for code missing. If you want to up the chances of having that problem, do everything in one tab with prompting the same AI. That's what's going to happen. Mess around and find out. I've got friends talking about pickleballs, not pickleball, pickleballs, like puff corn, pickleball flavored. Kind of gross. I don't mind pickleball. I mean, I don't mind pickle flavored stuff. But mixed with that weird puffy, I don't know, puffy goes with cheese and not real cheese, like fake cheddar crap cheese. That's what puffy puffball things go with. Like there's I think what's the name of the company? Cheetos makes a Chester brand. They're like puff corn, and the butter one is really weird. Like it's good, but it's weird. Like the regular Cheeto cheese one is better. I mean, they're both kind of gross, but there's like high food, total junk food. Still writing code. Waiting for, where's the verifier? Oh, I gave it. Oh, see, I uploaded the wrong thing. So I'm going to copy my prompt that I made a while ago. We're supposed to upload the game. They would have been verifying some weird shit. Like these things are nothing alike. These are totally different. It's like watching paint dry. 93. All right, we got it. There it is. Copy it. Okay, we're going to put it here with a prompt. Ah, see, we almost got into trouble. See how it says fast? We don't want fast. We want pro or thinking. It's defaulting to this fast thing. Let's see, make sure that that's not on fast. That's pro. That's pro. Good. All right. Change this to pro. Why does it say fast? It's not updating with what it should be. There we go. All right. Upload the original file. Oh, that's code. Here is a file that I've uploaded. Don't do anything at all except for let me know that you have it. Like I swear, if you don't tell it very specifically what you want done, it'll go crazy and start doing all kinds of crap. it'll imagine what needs to be done next. Sometimes it's right, but sometimes, most of the time, it's wrong. Here is another file. Don't do anything, just acknowledge that you have it. There's the code. We're going to go here, get our verification report, our verification plan. Make sure we're on canvas. Let's see if we can get a pass. We're going to do some quality of life stuff also with the game before we go to the next milestone. I guess we got to make sure a full turn works and test it on 2 or 3 players, 4 players. The big difference is between 2 and 3. If it works between 2 and 3, then we know that it'll probably work for 4. This is taking a while. Passed, passed, passed. Rejected. Where did it reject it? Fail right here.
Section 3, Text Content Check. Status, failed. Details. Phase 1, no changes on round 1 found. Phase 2, lowest VP player rolls dice to swap 2 tokens found. Phase 4, select a source, stack or red token, mismatch. The code contains select source, stack or red token, missing the word A. Phase 5, place a red token from supply onto an empty corner found. Phase 6, tiles touching lead tokens score points not found. The code contains let score message equals phase 6, score minority, but does not contain the specific descriptive phrase requested.
Okay, so the coder failed. We're going to go back here and get our, we want to go back to our action plan. We can't get it here because we went back to open this. I think I can just refresh it though. Hopefully it'll put the action plan. Yes, that's the right action plan. Let's go ahead and export it to documents so that we don't lose it. Okay. Then what we want to do is copy this and have this go for it. All right. Johnny Smith. Hey mate, your stream is pretty cool. Followed you and I can see that people are not showing up on your stream. Do you mind adding me on your Discord to help? Yeah. I'll do that, man. All right. Here we go. This is going to take a while for it to generate the code. Go ahead and prime our verifier. Oops, not what we want to do. Prime our verifier by getting the code ready. Here is a file that I've uploaded. Don't do anything, just acknowledge that you received it. All right. How far are we? Only 500 and something. It's going a little slow. While it's going, let's screw with our game a little bit. Start game. Okay, blue. Water. Where are we going to put the water? We've got 4 tokens to place. Let's place 4 tokens there. Then we have 2 tokens to place in the foot area, which is these 2. I'll go there. And then we have the seedling, which is these 2, and I'll place 1 there. All right, green player. You can place here and here, so we'll place 4 here. Foot, I'm going to place 2 here. Wind, go ahead and reinforce. You know what? Weed is here. Yeah, you know what? We'll place it back there. So the action stack, we'll draw a weed. The weed action. Let's see where we're at coding wise. Should be pretty close to done. And then we'll verify it. Yeah, when I'm sitting there building something or whatever, it's just me managing tabs. It's fun in the idea phase, just building something. Or since this is not really my thing, I'm not a coder. Oops, I didn't want to do that. I want to go to here, make sure. Let's see, copy the code, go to the verifier. Here is another file. Don't do anything at all. Just acknowledge that you have it. Copy and paste our code. Go back over here. Get our verification plan. Then we'll see if it'll verify for us. Hopefully we've got the code without any extra added somethings. Waiting for the report. Here we go. Pass. 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 So this time it passed. All of it. Great. Got the code. Oops, that's not the code. That's the code. Put it in our WordPad. Put a new. Okay. What are we going to call it? Okay, hopefully this is right. Then we'll save. All right, so here's the new one. 2-player. Remember, we want to make it big from the start. That's just a quality of life thing we want to do. I need to stop saying quality of life. All right. Wind. Okay, so see up there at the top, it says what it does. Move own cube up to 3 times. But that's when you use it as an action. But in this part of the game, we're just putting 4 cubes either here at the desert or the forest. We'll go there. Reveal weed. We'll put 2 in the tropics. 1 we'll put here. Okay, green player. Foot. They can put 4 in the foot. Weed is here. That's the one that's going to score big. Let's go and go 4 there. 2 in case we fight it out. And 1 in the wind. We'd rather do that. Okay, blues action. Okay, I'm going to mouse over it. It doesn't say what it does. Grass, select tile. It says here, select a tile with your cubes for combat. Green. Oh no, it's a blue player. They want to go here to fight. Boom. Great. Green flips over. Water. What does water do? Oh, see, you can't mouse over here, but you can mouse over there. Move an opponent's cube twice, then select a tile to reward majority. Where do we want to move blue? So we'll put blue, and then we'll move it here. Cool, and then reward majority somewhere. I'll reward majority there. I'm gonna pick a foot icon. Blue's turn. They get to do a combat. They're gonna pass because they would fight here, but there would be no point because they would lose. Okay, green. Green can do a foot or they can draw. Green would like to get a foot to do something there. All right, seedling. Seedling allows you to place one cube on a legal tile, then score a tile touching a weed. So you score one of these. Seedling, place a cube on a legal tile. So we'll go and place a dude there. And then I'll pick a place to score, which will be here. I got 2 points because there's 2 grass there. Blue goes. Blue has seedling. Seedling was the same thing. Blue will go there, and then they will score. Back to green. Green will draw. They got a grass, so they're going to fight here. Then it's blue. Blue has a grass. Nowhere to fight. They're going to... oh, we're in a modify stage. Was that the third action, I guess? So we're on modify map. Place grass token on an empty corner. Boom. Is that part of grass? I don't know. I don't know what that was. Okay. Action, let me see. Water is the move an opponent's cube twice, right? Weed is place one cube, then move one of your own. Seed is place one cube on a legal tile, score. Draw one tile, place it, obviously. Move up to 3. So I don't know what was going on a while ago. I have to find out. All right. We're going to draw grass. Okay, so modify place token. I don't know why it's having me do that. Okay, so let's look at the game. Something's wrong. So let's go ahead and start all over. We don't need them to write us the action plan because the action plan was done. They wrote it. It's good. We don't want to keep necessarily the same person. We could, or the same AI, but we could just start a new prompt. I don't want it to get confused. Open this guy up. This one fixed. During the combat step in actions using a grass, the game had me modify the map, and I was on, when I was the green player, I was in action 2, and whenever it had me do it in the blue player, it was action 3, and it also had me modify the map. Granted, there was no legal place to have combat, but in the game, it made me modify map instead. I don't remember that as part of the rules, and if it is part of the rules, let me know. Something weird's going on. Let's analyze what it is. Don't do anything. Do not code. Do not write an action plan. Do not do anything. We're just going to have a conversation and try to figure it out. Now, it sounds ridiculous that I have to tell it that all the time, but it'll just start coding if we don't. Let me get the PDF. If we just, believe that it's going to do its thing, then it will start coding, or it will start writing an action plan. It'll just start being proactive and try to help, even though it doesn't know how to help. But its whole thing with working with people is that AI is really good at subtext. In fact, AI is better at subtext with real people than I am with real people in subtext. Now, subtext in a movie, no problem. Subtext with people, I suck at subtext. So I can, like, this is just life engineering for me to get through a regular day. Like, let's say somebody goes in, I did something, they look annoyed, and they walk out. I go to AI and I'm like, okay, so here's the situation. I describe everything that I possibly can that I know of, and then it'll let me know what the subtext was and where I offended somebody, or how I acted wrong, or how I didn't pick up on what they were trying to say. Life engineering. I hope I can find it. A friend of mine telling me they have a pineapple margarita at a place. I want to try it. I love pineapple, and I've grown to really dig margaritas. Real margaritas. I don't like the bullshit
You are
vodka.
absolutely
I
right to
mean,
call this out. Let's
tequila.
analyze this together because, based on the rules PDF you provided and the code logic, what you are describing is technically impossible according to the rules, which means it's likely a flow issue in the game's interface. Here is the breakdown of why that felt weird and what is actually happening. 1. The rules versus the experience. The rules, page 11 of PDF, the combat action, grass icon, says, the player taking this action may decide not to select a tile or may not have a tile valid for selection, effectively skipping this action. Rule, if you can't do combat, you do nothing. The turn passes to the next person, action. Rule, modify map, is phase 5, page 16. Combat is phase 4. Conclusion, there is absolutely no rule that says, if you fail combat, you must modify map. Your experience, you, green, were on action 2. You skipped combat. The game immediately told you to modify map. 2. The diagnosis. If the game jumped from green action 2 straight to modify map, the game essentially deleted action 3 for everyone. Here is what likely happened in the game logic. The skip button. When you realized you had no legal place to have combat, you likely clicked the skip action button, or the game forced a skip. The instant phase change. In the code, as soon as the last action of phase 4 is finished, the game instantly switches the header to phase 5, modify map. The confusion, if you were actually on action 3, and maybe lost count, which is easy to do, clicking skip would instantly change the screen to modify map. It feels like a penalty. I couldn't fight, so now I have to
Okay, so I know specifically that was not the case where I was actually on the next phase. No, I was still in the action phase, 100%, because I noticed it the first time when it happened with the green player, and it only happens when you draw the grass icon during action. And when you look at the board, there was no legal place to place it. I mean, there was no legal place to do a combat. And I didn't have the skip ability. It just automatically, whenever I drew a grass in my deck, it automatically told me modify map. And then when I was done, this was action 2, it went to the next player's action 2. So it didn't skip to the next phase. You need to look a little bit deeper. I'm wondering if it's in from Pro, if it switched up to a different um, version, if it went to fast or whatever, because it's kind of weird. Should have been reviewing the code from the very beginning. Let's go ahead. I'm kind of wary of this AI instance. We're in Pro. Let's go thinking. Let's go Canvas. Let's go ahead and upload the game. Let's go ahead and upload the rules. We haven't quite uploaded yet. We're about to prompt it. Well, this one's doing its thing. We're going to go back to this original prompt, copy it, and see if it says the same nonsense. Like, there's something wrong with the game for sure.
I hear you. No coding, no plans. Let's just talk it through. That behavior definitely sounds like a bug. Looking at your rules, Phase 4, player actions, and Phase 5, modify map, are two distinct steps. You should only be modifying the map, placing a red token on a corner, after everyone has finished all three of their Phase 4 actions. Based on what you described, here is what I suspect is happening in the logic of the code you uploaded. The phase skip logic. In the setup action logic function, there's code that checks if you're in phases, modify underscore map. If the game thinks it's in phase 5, it sets the subphase to modify underscore place underscore token. The next turn logic. In next turn phase 4, the code calculates when to move to the next player or the next action round. There is a specific line there that says, if action round greater than 3.
Check this out. We were trying to get information, and look, it's starting to code. We don't want it to code without us explicitly telling it to code.
Then set phase to phases, modify underscore map. The grass action specifically, you mentioned this happened during the grass action, combat. The grass action in your code is instant. Once you click the tile, the cubes are removed, and the code immediately calls next turn phase 4 to move to the next person. The something weird diagnosis. If you were the blue player on action 3 and it jumped to modify map, it means the code reached the end of action round 3 and correctly advanced the phase. However, if it felt like it for
The game 100% forced a modify map action. And let me be clear. For the blue player, it was action 2, not action 3. So I was in the middle of action 2, and the following player was going to be green player. The blue player drew a weed. He drew a grass, and when you looked on the map, there was no place to have combat. So I was going to click cancel, and there was no cancel allowed. Instead, when I looked, it said modified map. So when I went ahead and pushed somewhere, it put a grass there, and then it went to action 2 of the green player, and they drew a foot or something, and they did their actions. Then when it came back to the blue player, they were fine. They didn't draw grass, so everything was cool. But then it went to the green player, and they happened to draw grass, and the same thing happened. It didn't give me a chance to choose anything. It didn't give me an ability to cancel. It just said modify map. And again, this is because I think there's no legal place to have a combat on the game board. So something really needs to be looked at. It's code. It's a definite bug. It's not me feeling like it jumped. Okay, here. I'm going to erase this. And see what it said here. Can't do it that way, so we'll just drag, copy, and do voice.
The user's experience of modify map appearing during action 2 is a critical state logic error. Here is the specific breakdown of the issue and the fix. The grass logic hole. The grass action sets the subphase to grass underscore select underscore tile. If a player has no cubes on the board, or no valid targets, the game correctly identifies no valid interaction targets. However, because can skip action relied on a whitelist/black list.
Okay, so I think he figured it out. Let's go ahead and finish this prompt out. We need an action plan to do this stuff. So here we need a new coder. Oops. Make sure that it's not on fast. We'll put it on pro. We'll upload our latest version of the game. And we'll wait for the instructions here in a moment when it figures it out.
This is a very specific and helpful bug report. It sounds like the game state is derailing into Phase 5, Modify Map, while it should still be in the middle of Phase 4, Player Actions. Here is the something weird I suspect is happening. 1. The Phase 5 hijack. In the code, Phase 4 and Phase 5 actually share the same starting mechanic. You draw, select a card, token as a source, and then you do something with it. Phase 4. Use the icon to perform an action, foot, grass, etc. Phase 5. Use the icon to place a matching red token on a corner.
All right, I think this report sounded a little bit more feasible. What we're going to do is have them write an action plan. You violated our mandate of you not writing code. You went ahead and wrote code. Never write code. Not in its entirety. Only small portions that we get a coder to insert into the game. I need you to write an action plan for the coder to fix this. Don't allow the coder to think too much. We want it to think as little as possible so we'll get less context drift. Period. We also want a verification report to make sure nothing else got changed that we didn't need changed. All right. And let's wait for our action plan. We need to get a verifier ready. Let's get the original. Oops. The original. I'm uploading a file. Don't do anything at all with it. Just acknowledge that you received it. Waiting for our action plan. It wrote it over here. We wanted it in Canvas. If it doesn't have any code, we can copy it. Just in case it doesn't pull it off. Oops. Yeah, this is such a hassle. Please write the action plan in Canvas so I can copy it and paste it easier. In case it doesn't pull it off, I've got it copied and we're ready to go. Okay. That's taking a long time since it's already had it written. That's taking a really long time. Let's go ahead and paste the action plan there just in case. Let's see if we can get this action plan written. There we go. That's better. Go ahead and get rid of that. Put our action plan in there. Make sure canvas is on. Otherwise, it'll just start writing code right there in the prompt area. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt. Be nice if it works, because then we could play like a complete cycle of the game. It hasn't even started generating code. There we go. All right, while it does that. Reward majorities. So here, we'll just go through. They got green gets to choose a token. They're going to choose a weed. Okay, then we'll score here. No one won that. Score here. They will get a seed. Score here. They want a weed. Score there. This one. Score. Oh, nobody gets it. Score here. We'll get a grass. Boom. Flip the next token, which is the weed. Awesome. These two have to change places. All right, blue goes. Holy crap, this game is actually working. I mean, we don't have any graphics or anything, but it's there's only like a few things to do to get a lot, like putting the numbers on here of how many cubes can be on there at the end of a round and stuff like that. Anyway, let's go green. What are we gonna do? Green has 4 to do. They can put 1 in the weed, put 4 anywhere. The weed is here. Let's just draw. Boom. Wind. They're gonna send 4 there. Well, that was weird. I don't think they sent all. Okay, so several things didn't happen. The scoring phase of round 1, which you need to fix, only the scoring majorities, and just a while ago it didn't have me put, it had me do something weird. That's weird. Draw, weed. It's got some weird thing inserted into the action, so I'll have to play it again to find out what it is. Code is being made. Where are we at? We're almost done. I'm going to restart it. All right. Oh, start blue. They're going to put 4 there. Blue's going to put 2 there and 1 here. Green is going to put 4 there, 2 there, and 1. Where's the weed? The weed is there. We'll go to here. Okay, then action 1. Weed. What does weed do? Remove 1 opponent's cube, then move 1 of your cubes. 1 of your own cubes. So there, they're going to move this one here. All right, then we've got another set of actions. We've got fighting. Green is going to fight here. How dare you bring that one? Water action, which is move an opponent's cube twice. Then select a tile to reward majority. So we'll move this one here, this one here. Then we'll reward majority, and then we'll take a grass. Green chooses a foot. I mean, they have a foot. Go here. Put one of those on there. Then it's blue. Blue's going to choose that action. They're going to fight. Green has wind. Wind was move your own cubes 3 times. 1, 2. Oops. 3. Modify map. That's not in the right phase. All right. Modify map again, right? All right, reward majority. Oh, like choose that. Try to go through this quickly. Okay, and then it's the next round. Round chains. Rolls the dice if you have the lowest amount of points, and then they switch these two. That's right. Then we dispense. Grass, they can go anywhere, so they'll go here. Why is it giving one dispense? That's making like no sense at all. Something weird is happening there. All right, the code is ready. We're copying it. We're pasting it here. Oops, not yet. Here is a modified version. Take a look at the modified version. Let me know that you have it and don't do anything else. I almost forgot I had a verification report that I got to do, which is how. Go to the verification report. This is what we're going to give the verifier. And then see what the verdict is going to be. See if it's going to be good or did it fail? Did it add stuff or remove stuff it wasn't supposed to? We've got some weird stuff going on with the phases in the game and how they're triggering and stuff. Pass, pass, pass. Awesome. So let's get the code. And then we'll go to our Web Plus. And then we'll go ahead and save it. And then we'll go ahead and close that and open the new one, or the one that we just fixed. All right, let's play it, and that'll be the end of the video. And we'll come back in a moment and start working on finding out what's wrong with those phases. Okay, start game, blue player, seedling, they will go here. We're going to make sure not to put any of them together so that we can do the whole fighting thing and see if it does the same thing again. there, there. Remember, we're not going to put them together. We have to there. Grass, which is combat. Okay, maybe they'll draw another grass. Wind. Move your own cubes up to 3 times. We are green. We'll just skip it. Wind. We'll skip it. Grass. Okay, so the grass thing is working now. We can go boom. Yeah, it's fixed. Cancel skip. Cancel skip. Modify map. Then reward majority. Okay, so that modify stage is not the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to go from maybe I've got modified map screwed up. Oh yeah, modified map thing goes there. This is how we add more whatchamacallits to the more tokens to the game. I forgot about that. That's in the right place. We just don't have score minority next. And then we go to score majority. Cool. Anyway, we're gonna stop right there. We've made some progress. The game's pretty cool. It's working pretty damn well. I'm pretty damn impressed. We need to do minority scoring. Then I need to go over the map. Go over the PDF and the game because it's been so long since I played it. Make sure that I'm doing everything right, and then try more than 2-player and just make sure it works. And then after that, we'll add some polish or whatever. But anyway, that's it for now. How do you turn this damn thing off?